towards remodeling. I'm here today to talk to you about some remodeling myths. I've been in this business for 10 years. We've done hundreds and hundreds of renovations on homes, and there are certain things that I hear from my clients all the time that I throw into this bucket of myths. They're things they've heard through the years that they think are either very expensive or very difficult, and so they walk in with that idea, and because of that, they limit what the possibilities are for their space. The first one I hear almost on every job is opening walls, or I'd like to open this wall, but it's weight-bearing. That is not the end of the world. We open weight-bearing walls every day. As long as you frame them correctly, they are just fine, and they are just as strong as the wall that was there before it was opened. The key here is that this is not a $10,000 problem. Normally, opening walls is somewhere in the $1,500 to $2,500 range to open a weight-bearing wall. So the next time you're thinking of renovating and you're thinking about the layout of your house, don't limit yourself by what you think you can't open or what you don't want to get into, because it may not be as expensive as you think it is. The next one, and it kind of goes along with this one, is moving plumbing. There's a whole lot of mystery around moving plumbing, and people talk to me about, well, I can't move my kitchen sink because that's where the plumbing is, or plumbing's in this wall. The key to plumbing is there's really two parts of it. There's the supply lines, which is how the water gets there, and then there's the drains, which is where everything goes out to the sanitary system. Supply lines are usually not an issue at all. You can put supply lines almost anywhere. You hear about people saying, well, I can't put them in an outside wall because of code. Well, yeah, you're limited to a certain extent, but we can always make that outside wall thicker so that you can put the plumbing there. Or we can have the plumbing come up under a vanity or under a sink, in which case it doesn't go through an outside wall. The trickier part, I will say, is the drain. You do need to have a way of routing that drain so that it flows downhill for obvious reasons. But I will tell you, in all the years we've been working in all the kitchens and baths that we've done and moved around, we've always found a way to get the plumbing where it needs to be. So again, kind of a myth. I wouldn't limit yourself when you first start your design. Next one on our list is moving or adding windows. A lot of times, if you look at the windows in your kitchen, for example, they're actually higher off the floor than windows in your dining room next door. And the reason is that they have to be above the countertop, and a typical countertop is 36 inches off the floor, so you add another 6 inches of backsplash and you're up at 42 inches. Normally windows aren't that high in a dining room, and so people think, well, I can't expand my kitchen into my dining room because the windows are too low, so I can't get a countertop under them. You can always take that window out and put another window in. It's much easier, obviously, if you have siding on your house as opposed to brick. But even if you have brick, we do those every day, you can put a different size window in there, you can brick up from the bottom so that you can use that space in a different way. Adding windows, the same way. You can always frame a window in and do what you have to do to fix the outside of the house so that it looks appropriate. And then the last thing that I run into a lot has to do with cabinets, where people think about dovetail drawers versus butt joint drawers where they don't have dovetails in the back. Dovetails came about back in the day when drawers were glued and put together mechanically. This is more than 100 years ago. And that mechanical piece of the dovetail is what held it together because glue wasn't all that good at the time. Nowadays, with the glues we have, dovetail is a nice feature to have. It's not a must-have. Regular butt joint drawers work just fine. They're wonderful. They're strong. They work terrifically. So next time you think about your cabinets, don't necessarily think you have to do dovetail drawers. They are more expensive. And then overall, when you're thinking about remodeling, you're thinking about opening walls or moving plumbing or adding windows or moving windows, don't limit yourself at the beginning of the process. Think about what you really want, draw it all up or sketch it all up, and then talk to your contractor, because there's usually a way to do that stuff, and it's usually not the biggest cost of the project.